Hello again and welcome back to my channel. I'm continuing the double page spread in Tales from the Midnight Masquerade by Hanna Karlzon, and I'm hoping to finish up this page and get started on the other page. As mentioned before in a previous video, I'm doing this lady in silvers, whites and blues, and on the other side I'm contrasting it with sun colors, so yellows, reds and oranges. And I'm using polychromos for both these pages as well as a near to color background. So let's continue working on here and see if we can wrap this up. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to work a bit more on the sun aspects and get these sun colors out the way, and then we'll move on to the gold. So I'm just going to come into here and finish these up a bit. I'm using a deep scarlet red just to go around the inside of here. Followed by a red violet. And I'll just go over that with the dark cadmium yellow. And then using a light chrome yellow, just go around the outside of these jewels. Using the red violets, so starting dark but making sure I end lighter so I can transition my colors from dark to light. A deep scarlet red. Going back to the middle cadmium red. Red violets. Using a white Sakura jelly roll, I'm just going to go over these black lines. Okay, using the light chrome yellow, followed by orange glaze, middle cadmium red, so I'm trying to create like a flame. And then go over it with the light chrome yellow. So now I'm going to try and use a white Posca pen to go around the flame and just brighten it up on the sides. I suppose you could use a white acrylic paintbrush and paint to do this. You can make it longer if you like. I will, when I am finished with this page, make sure I credit the artist who I drew a lot of inspiration from a particular artist, so I will make sure I credit them as well, because you know that's the decent thing to do. Don't want to take credit for something that was inspired. Okay, I'm going to do the same idea on the flames here around the wand. So light chrome yellow, and I'm just putting it down as a base layer. And I'm actually going to take my black Posca pen, and between here I'm just going to black this out. I want it to look like she's really got more of a sun on her staff or her wand, whatever you want to call it. I think it will also give room to create more of a flamey effect. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay, back to the light chrome yellow. Okay, I'm going to color the whole thing with this yellow. Then I'm going to go in with the deep dark cadmium yellow. Then I'm going to use the orange glaze. Alright, then the middle cadmium red, and right in the center. So what I'm really doing is just tracing over the black lines with the red, middle cadmium red. And then I'm going to come back in with one of the darker yellows and just try and blend the orange and the red out. So you don't want a lot of red, because we do want some of that orange to be around. It just gives a bit more of that flame feel. And then in here, again, you don't want to do too much, you want to just have it highlighting. So on the inside of the circle, what I'm trying to do is contrast light and dark, so I can have this sun inside this bigger sun also standing out. Alright, I'm actually going to come in with a light chrome yellow. So I don't want it to be too dark either. And then trying to keep two small little circles, and I'm using a bit of a medium pressure. Okay, I'm going to use the white Posca pen and try and create a similar effect to the crown. And I'm trying to just flick it out when I get to the tip, so it doesn't make a solid line, it makes it a bit more like smoke disappearing. So when I first saw this page, I immediately knew I wanted to create sun a sun lady and a night lady. And I think that's why I started with the sun, because it was definitely something I knew I wanted to do. And when I saw this particular artist's creation, it had a lot of what I wanted to do. So the reference photo just made it easier to see what I was seeing in my mind. And in some ways she did it much better than what I was envisioning. But I'm not constantly referring back to her piece of her photo, because I don't want to rely too heavily on it. So for example, the way she did she also used paint around these sort of rays. I think she made hers a bit longer, so I'm trying to not make it a copy, but you will see that the inspiration does come through. Then I'm going to use a jelly roll, white jelly roll, and go over these. I remember I once I went through a stage where I thought all great artists, you know, Leonardo da Vinci, Picasso, those type of artists, that they just knew how to create their drawings and their artwork from their heads. And I believed this for many, many years, and until I finally came across the realization that people like Pablo Picasso and other great artists, before they became famous, actually spent time copying the styles of the famous artists of their day, which completely surprised me but made brilliant sense, because they went along and learned the different styles and almost developed themselves quite well in those different art styles. And I had to kind of confront my own expectation that I had to have everything worked out, and some amazing skill set and know-how. And in some ways it brought a lot of freedom, because it kind of gave me permission to actually copy, or to even take tracing paper over a picture and trace the outline so I could then color. And when I watch YouTube videos by artists who do realism art, and I mean their art is amazing, one of the things that I have heard some of them say is, if you're struggling with drawing proportions in drawings, but you're probably really able to do the coloring side of it and the texture of the fur or the feathers. Well, because the proportions of a drawing are so important in realism, then go ahead and just copy the picture and then use the same picture as a reference photo for, you know, the colors and the texture and creating it lifelike, but draw the proportions. And I've always thought that that was cheating, but it seems that it's actually part of the process of art. It's part of teaching yourself how to do things and how to perfect things. And you know, when we think about it, even people who are amazing in their coloring, I wouldn't be surprised if quite a few of them actually have reference photos, whether it's, you know, photos taken in of real life things or other people's versions of a picture. And for me, it's just this realization that actually it's okay to refer back to something. It's okay to have inspiration and draw from it, and it's okay to not know everything or have a finished picture in your mind the moment you open a picture to sit down and color. Like, it's all okay, and I find that quite liberating and freeing. So when I find a picture you know, someone has colored in that really matches what I can see in my mind, but I don't know necessarily how to lay it out on paper, it's really helpful to have that reference. And I mean, obviously, as long as we don't pass someone else's work off as our own, it really does help. Okay, I'm going to put some deep scarlet red in here, and I'm not going to build up the color because I want to use glitter glue in here, and the rest of it I'm going to use gold. It's just when the glitter glue dries, sometimes it can be a lot thinner than I'd like, so by putting a bit of a color underneath, it will look like red sparkly glitter and not red glitter on top of white paper. Okay, we're going to do the gold and then we should be done. Okay, I'm going to start with Naples yellow, and I'm going to make this section gold as well. I'm just going to zoom you out. Next, I'm coming in with green gold. Then the bistre. Back in with Naples yellow and a bit more green gold. Followed by the Bista. Next up is dark sepia. I'm going back in with the Bista. Then the green gold. Then the Naples yellow. Using the green gold. Followed by the Bista. Going back in with some green gold. Some Naples yellow. Finally, some dark sepia. Back over it with the vista. I like to make the gold as smooth as I possibly can. I got this color combination of Coloring with Elena. I like her channel a lot, and I haven't worked out all the color combinations with the polychromos. So I just popped onto one of her videos and wrote down her recipe for gold using polychromos. Okay, we're going to do gold on the crown and use the same color. So I'm going to start with the Naples yellow. I'm going to make these also gold. And then the green gold. Then the Bista. I'm going the wrong way. I think with these sticks of fire, do the blister at the bottom, going light towards the top, because technically if this was flame it would be highlighting the base of the sticks. And then the dark sepia. Then I'm coming in with the green gold, just to blend this all a bit out. Some bistre on this part of the crown. And some more green gold. And some Naples yellow. Just very lightly. Alright, and there we have it. Let's get a bit of glitter glue. Okay, so I'm using Dovecraft glitter glue, and I'm just going to pop some in these red bits on her crown. And we can put some on her dress here. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it just like that. I don't want to add anything else. I think it looks really great. Let's zoom you out. So there we have it. We have completed the Lady of the Sun using Polychromos and Neocolor 2s, white Sakura jelly roll, and some glitter. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this color along. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.